This is Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis.
This is the Saturday edition, ready to go. What a day. Absolutely overloaded for the next couple of hours. Great guest lineup, huge menu of NHL action, our regular features, Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day. We do it every Saturday. And of course, our second annual list of Todd's favorite things. It is a busy couple of hours straight ahead. We'll squeeze in as much as we can. Joining us as well, a couple of first-timers as well coming to visit us on the program. Mark Stepneski of the DallasStars.com will join us. We'll talk about the Stars, and we'll talk about the Stars and their interesting matchup today with the Edmonton Oilers and a whole bunch more. Robyn Flynn covers the Montreal Canadiens for CJAD and the Athletic in Montreal. She will be with us as well, because you know there's really not ever much going on in Montreal. It's always very quiet, very, very, very simple and easy. Yeah, that's there's always a lot going on. And of course, when the Canadiens are hosting the Toronto Maple Leafs, well, that makes it even more dramatic. Adam Vingan will be here to talk about the Nashville Predators, Preds, and Colorado later on tonight. And Arthur Staple of Newsday, our friend who covers the New York Islanders as the Isles make their way through the South. Tampa today, then on to Carolina on Sunday. Arthur will be with us to give us the latest. At Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports, the Twitter and Instagram handles, social media handles you should be following us on. And of course, that's how you will nominate your favorite dog for the Dog of the Day. Hashtag is HU Dog of the Day. We do it every Saturday. Just ask you to send us a photo, tweet your photo to us, post it on Instagram. You can email as well. Todd at hockeyunfiltered.com is the email. Use the hashtag HU Dog of the Day. We pick a winner every Saturday, add that photo to the gallery on our website and up on our Facebook page as well. Some great dog stories this past week, as a matter of fact, including Charlie, who is the service dog who performed the ceremonial opening face-off as part of the New York Islanders game a couple of nights ago. Charlie is a service dog in training for America's Veterans Dogs, and terrific job. We tweeted out the little video of that. Did a terrific job. So nominate your dog today. Hashtag HU Dog of the Day. It is a busy one, as I mentioned. Great Saturday of NHL action. It was kind of quiet on Friday with just a couple of games. Interesting matchups, though. Interesting results, and we'll see how they move forward. But a busy Saturday with 13 games, a nice afternoon menu, too. I like this so much. Calgary is in Philadelphia, and it's funny that those two teams are matched up because they both have news involving the league and discipline, which we'll get to in just a couple of seconds. Arizona, Ottawa, Edmonton, Dallas, as I mentioned, Jersey and Winnipeg, Florida and LA, all afternoon contests. It's good. Then you move into the evening on Saturday, Toronto-Montreal matchup, as I mentioned, the Hawks and Pittsburgh. That always provides some juice heading into that match, so it's good. Now, I must remind you as well, for all intents and purposes, we are at the 1/4 mark of the NHL season. Everybody points to the U.S. Thanksgiving, which is coming up on Thursday. That's the key point in the schedule. We'll hear a lot about that over the next few days, that, oh, if you're in the playoffs at Thanksgiving, that's good. If you're not in the playoffs at Thanksgiving, well, it's almost impossible to get in. We've divided the season up into quarters. We will do quarterly reports tomorrow, one for each of the teams in the East and in the West. If you're traveling this week, please do so safely. And the tradition, of course, has grown. There's Thanksgiving on Thursday. There's Black Friday. There's afternoon hockey on Black Friday as well. There's Cyber Monday. And in the tradition of Ellen and Oprah, our list of favorite things coming up, we'll do half of it this hour, and we will do half of it in the next hour as well. General managers had a meeting in Montreal. Oh boy, people were talking about some of the stuff that went on there, pointing, saying, oh, what's happening here? You know, they talked, they watched some presentations. It wasn't really that big a deal, but it's some other stuff surrounding it that sort of stirred up the hornet's nest as well. Now, the story from a couple of days ago that's still playing itself out involves the nonsense that took place midweek between the Calgary Flames, the Detroit Red Wings. Luke Witkowski has already been suspended 10 games. He returned to the ice surface to engage in a fight. It's automatic. 10, you're done. I like that. I'm okay with it. It's smart. It's automatic. It's good for the NHL, and it's good for the NHL that they're not listening to all of these old school whiners who are now suggesting, oh, this doesn't occur that often. Do we really need to have such severe penalties? Oh, he was provoked. He got a little love tap, as some referred to it, by Matthew Tkachuk as he was leaving the ice. So, of course, he came back. We don't really need this sort of thing. Yes, you do. You engage in this kind of stupidity, you should be punished for it, and you should be punished severely for it. 10 games, automatic, makes it simple. It eliminates a lot of the public debate about, well, he was provoked. Should it be this? Should it be that? I think it's important that it's an automatic suspension. I think we should look at more automatic suspensions for stupidity of this nature. There are people that gripe a bit about them, but those automatic rules, hard and fast, black and white, whatever phrase you want to use to describe them, they are effective. He came back onto the ice, engaged in a fight after being escorted off the ice by an official. Automatic, 10 games. And this nonsense suggestion that, oh, well, didn't know the rule. He thought you had to jump over the boards. That's not their problem. That's not the league's problem. That's Luke Witkowski and the Detroit Red Wings' problem. Their players have to know what the rules are. Oh, I didn't know what the rule was. There's suggestions that, oh, maybe we should do something about this, allow it to be interpreted. No, because when you allow interpretation, everybody's got a different one. Look at goaltender interference and how clear that is. Oh, these brawls don't occur regularly anymore. We don't really need that. Yes, you do. Stay strong. All we heard for 48 hours after this idiocy was Detroit and every media outlet running videos of the two teams engaged in the fight and engaged in the nonsense. And all you get are the cliche responses. Oh, ha, 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 that's hockey. All they do is fight all the time. Oh, ha, 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 here we go. That perception continues to linger. And all of the work that has been done to put it behind the league, that this kind of nonsense hasn't gone on for 20 or 30 years, it all goes away when stupidity like this happens. Only takes one. Only takes one. You don't need this kind of stuff. All the progress you made, that it's a game of skill, that it's a game of speed, hard physical play, absolutely. All that kind of progress that you make, all wiped out. Because all you have are every local media outlet running this salacious video. Stupid. Old school idiots suggesting how much they miss this. Oh, it showed some passion and some heart. Shut up. It did not. I'm for sticking up for your teammates. I'm for showing unity. But don't mistake this kind of nonsense, short-sighted, misguided actions as passion, heart. It's dumb. Not knowing the rules is dumb. Detroit's responsible for that. Luke Witkowski's responsible for that. You got to know the rules. Do they send you out and you don't know the offside rule? Not likely. The other part of this that has played out and is starting to play out is the Matthew Tkachuk rule. Because, yes, the disturber. Yes, Matthew Tkachuk, without his actions, none of the drama takes place. I didn't think that he would get suspended for a game, but the word came out late last night, and the explanation video as well. Matthew Tkachuk is suspended for a game, and so he should be. He was penalized on the play. He was penalized for spearing, and he was tossed with a game misconduct. He was penalized incorrectly, but he did get penalized. It was a slash. Give a major penalty for a slashing. That was not a spear. And in fact, in the explanation video that the NHL Player Safety Department put out, they mentioned that Matthew Tkachuk slashed Luke Witkowski twice. They didn't say spear. But I'm glad that he did. And no one picked up on this. I tweeted it out the other day. If you're looking at Matthew Tkachuk and you have to deal with him, he's a repeat offender. No one else mentioned this that I heard. He's a repeat offender because he got suspended for elbowing Drew Doughty in the spring. Now, I'm glad they suspended him. I didn't think they would. Thought they would only fine him. because the last suspension I could find for unsportsmanlike conduct, which is what this is, was the Andrew Shaw situation with the slur a couple of seasons ago when he was playing for the Chicago Blackhawks, which is obviously more severe. But I didn't think he'd get suspended. I'm glad he did, because without that stupid reaction, hunting down Luke Witkowski from center ice, slashing him, chirping at him, none of this happens. And this is the stuff you got to stop. This kind of dumb stuff. I didn't think he'd get a game, but he did. Repeat offender. So you have to take that into consideration. Well, unsportsmanlike conduct, usually it's a pretty stiff fine for doing something stupid. But in this case, if you're going to deal with him and have a hearing, you got to suspend him. And I'm good with it. I'm glad he got a game. You don't need this kind of stuff. You don't need this kind of stuff. If Tkachuk doesn't act like a jerk, none of this happens. Yes, there's a bunch of old men around the league that are now working as analysts because they haven't been in the league for years that giggle and act like they're 8-year-old boys hearing a fart joke thinking, oh, that's funny. No, he acted like an idiot and he deserved to be punished for it. That's not what the NHL is, that kind of stupidity. The sooner you move beyond that, the better it will be. The better it will be getting past this nonsense. Now, there is another issue that is going to have to be dealt with by the Department of Player Safety as well, and that is Radko Gudas of the Philadelphia Flyers. Because he whacked Matthew Perreault of the Winnipeg Jets over the head a couple of nights ago with his stick, and he too is going to be a repeat offender, and he was offered an in-person hearing, and they are going to come down hard on him, I suspect. Have not seen when that in-person hearing may or may not take place, but you got to think that Radko Gudas and the Philadelphia Flyers all want it to happen pretty quickly. We will talk more about this coming up. We will talk more about the games on the schedule today. And as I mentioned, it's kind of funny that Calgary and Philadelphia are facing off against one another in an afternoon contest. A couple of others as well. Arizona's at Ottawa. Arizona, how about those Yotes? Got a regulation victory. Whew. Edmonton's at Dallas, Jersey at Winnipeg. Good matchups today in the National Hockey League. Islanders at Tampa. There's Chicago at Pittsburgh. We'll talk about that and all the other games on the schedule. Plus, we're looking for your nominations for the Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis Dog of the Day. Use the hashtag #HUDogoftheDay. Tweet them to us. Post a photo on Instagram. Tell us the little story, your name, the dog's name that goes along with it. We look forward to it every Saturday. And coming up later on this hour, the first half of our list, our annual list of Todd's favorite things, just in time for the holidays. Everybody be thinking about shopping and looking for bargains. We've compiled a list of our favorite things. At Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports, the Twitter and Instagram handles. Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis, streaming live at hockeyunfiltered.com, powered by Primetime Radio, and live on the Hockey Unfiltered app. We'll talk Dallas Stars with Mark Stepneski right after the break.
There's special savings for Hockey Unfiltered listeners with our new ticket partner, Seat Giant. And Canadian fans can also purchase in Canadian dollars. Go to SeatGiant.ca, find the tickets you're looking for. Doesn't matter if it's NHL games, concerts, or any other event. You get a special discount with the promo code TODD. That's Todd with 2 Ds. Just enter the code, get the discount, you save. That's simple. Save on your next ticket purchase with Hockey Unfiltered and Seat Giant. The best way to get set for the busy Saturday night of hockey is with Hockey Primetime. Beginning at 5 p.m. Eastern, host Connor McKenna whips you around the league for the latest stories and info leading up to the early game starts. Plus, he'll give his own spin on the biggest stories in the National Hockey League. Hockey Primetime with Connor McKenna. Sometimes serious, sometimes a little goofy, but always interesting. Listen live at hockeyprimetime.com, 5 p.m. Eastern every Saturday. Search engine optimization is the key to success for your online business. It can be the key to success for any business. 1-844-SEO-LEAD is the number to call to get your business at the top of all searches. An official partner of Google, they have the tools necessary to make your business the one people notice first. 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Now you can nominate your dog or any dog you love as the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day through Instagram. Every Saturday, Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis will take your nominations for the Dog of the Day. Use the hashtag HU Dog of the Day. Send us a photo with the dog on Twitter or Instagram to nominate your dog. We choose a winner at the end of the show, and your dog will be recognized in the HU Dog of the Day gallery on our website and Facebook page. Hashtag HU Dog of the Day. Creativity and innovation are the hallmarks of Nova product design. Whether it's mechanical or industrial, cutting-edge technology and a commitment to excellence make Nova Product Design the company to choose. Prototypes and beta units are a Nova Product Design specialty. Striving for revolutionary new ideas and methods keep Nova Product Design at the forefront of innovation. Visit novaproductdesign.com and learn more.
Welcome back. This is Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis. It's the Saturday edition. Here Saturdays and Sundays, 11 Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, streaming live at hockeyunfiltered.com and on the Hockey Unfiltered app, powered by Primetime Radio. At Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports, the Twitter and Instagram handles to follow us. Busy program today with a full Saturday schedule in the National Hockey League, 13 games. Arthur Staple will join us later. We'll talk about the New York Islanders. Adam Vingan of the Tennessean will join us to talk Preds. Also coming up, Habs and Leafs talked with Robyn Flynn from CJAD and The Athletic in Montreal. The Dallas Stars are back at home and in action a little bit later on this afternoon, hosting the Edmonton Oilers. Mark Stepneski covers the Dallas Stars for DallasStars.com. You can follow him on Twitter at Stars Inside Edge. And Mark joins us now. Mark, it seems that watching this team throughout the first quarter of the NHL season, I'm still looking at them and finding that they're as if the Dallas Stars are still trying to find themselves a little bit. What's your observation at this point?
Yeah, I would agree with that. You look at the record, 9-9-1. You could say that they've been pretty good at home, not so good on the road. They've struggled to score 5-on-5. They've been pretty good on special teams. They've made some improvements in the defensive area, but turnovers still hurt them. So there's a lot of inconsistency in their game right now.
That's one of the things I was going to mention, is that their home record versus their away record is significantly different. And we've seen teams that go through stretches like that in the National Hockey League before. I don't know that there's anything fundamental that they're doing differently on the road versus at home, but it just seems for whatever reason they haven't been able to develop the same kind of consistency.
Yeah, Hitchcock addressed this yesterday, and he put it on puck management and the puck management errors on the lack of experience. I don't know if it's always if that's always the case, but they do seem to have, for whatever reason, they just seem to have lapses in the game. The other team steps up the pressure, and they just can't seem to handle it. And it'll be, they've lost a couple of games where they've played pretty well for maybe 50, 55 minutes, but a 5-minute, 10-minute lapse will just cost them 3-4 goals in the game, and then the game's gone. They played well in Carolina on Monday for 2 periods, and then the third period, Carolina stepped it up in the third. Stars couldn't handle it. Carolina scores 4 goals. It ends up 5-1 game. They had the same problem earlier in the season when losses to both St. Louis and Nashville. And, it's hard to explain, but they just can't seem to handle when the pressure ramps up from the other team. They just seem to fumble things, turn over pucks, have lapses, and it costs them games. And that's where they are on the road. And the home record's been good. But if you look at some of the wins, their home schedule hasn't been exactly against a lot of quality teams. I mean, they defeated Arizona, Buffalo, Colorado, Detroit. So they still haven't had a lot of tests at home. And, their 2 losses were Winnipeg and, the surprising Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure that the loss to the Vegas Golden Knights was not something that they were pleased about, it losing to an expansion team. However, Vegas, to their credit, has played pretty well. Also, I'm wondering too, just judging by some of the comments from Coach Ken Hitchcock earlier in the season, where he was really positive about the team. But it seems as though they're still trying to figure out exactly what he's looking for, and they just haven't been able to quite find the consistent success yet. I know I keep coming back to that term, but it still seems like they're in the process of sorting out what he's looking for.
Yeah, it's that, but I mean, you're 20 games in. They've been, where are we? November, what's the date today? 17th?
18th.
You're 2 months in, starting if you go back to when training camp started. So, at some point, explanations start turning into excuses. And, I look at it as that, they have a lot of guys underperforming and not playing up to where they need to be playing. And I think that has a lot to do with why they're not having a lot of success. They've got 4 guys basically carrying the offense, Ben, Sagan, Radulov, and Klingberg, and they need some other guys producing. And I think that's what's hurt them a lot.
Mark Stepneski is with us, covers the Stars for DallasStars.com. You can follow him on Twitter at Stars Inside Edge. Dallas hosting the Edmonton Oilers at home in a contest coming up on Saturday afternoon. I want to go back to the last game, though, just for a second, Mark, and the return of Ben Bishop to Tampa and the Dallas Stars. Obviously, that was a difficult night for him in terms of emotions because he has such close ties to Tampa, having spent significant time there, also having had such success with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I don't think he necessarily played badly, but I think just Tampa's a really good team. But that had to be a difficult night for him to get through with all of the emotions.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I know he wanted to play well. The team wanted to play well in front of him. And, first period, he was great. I mean, Tampa Bay had the Stars on their heels a little bit. I mean, he made 13 saves on 13 shots. He played really well, and then things just got away from them in the second period. He had a couple of tough ones that he let in, and I think everyone came away disappointed, especially him. And I know the team was disappointed as well, as far as the way they played in front of him.
The other part that we'll get to now is where the Dallas Stars go from here. As you mentioned, they're a quarter of the way into the season. This is game number 20 for the Dallas Stars on Saturday as they host the Edmonton Oilers. To try to find that offense that you can get from line 1, line 2, line 3, is it another opportunity to look for different combinations? Where do you see the next move coming from the Dallas Stars?
Well, he's tried to spread the offense around. He broke up Ben, Sagan, and Radulov. He's got Ben and Radulov together, and, he's moved Matthias Janmark, who's been pretty productive for them this year. He's played well. I think he's got 4 goals and 6 assists so far this year. So he's been a productive player. The problem is, he's got Ben playing center, and he's trying to find somebody to play with Sagan. And, Sagan's production's dropped a little bit here, and he's tried, he's got Devin Shore, and he's trying to get Shore going. Shore has no goals so far this season. The kid scored 13 last year. He hasn't been able to score a goal yet this year. And he's trying to find some players to play with Sagan to get other guys going, and that just hasn't worked so far. And he's, yesterday Hitchcock indicated he's going to continue to split up that top line because he can't just play those 3 guys together and be a one-line team, because he said he's going to end up wearing them down over if you just keep going with those guys, you're going to wear them down, and over the long haul, it's just not going to work. So he's going to continue to split up that top line, have Ben and Sagan be his 1-2 centers, And he said they just got to keep doing it, and they've got to get other people to produce.
The other thing that if you're just a one-line team is that others will figure out how to stop you. You can stop one line if the other two or three are not going to be a threat to you. And it's really intriguing that Jamie Benn, a winger, is playing center, and you have times where Jason Spezza, a center, is playing wing. But I think part of that is because there are so many centers on the Dallas Stars roster.
Right. Right, and that's part of the thing when they signed Martin Hansel in the off season. You know, you've got Sagan, you got Spezza, you got Hansel, you got Foxa. You know, and you take a guy like Radek Foxa, who's a good player. You know, he's a younger version of Martin Hansel. You know, and he's been pretty productive this year. I think he's got 4 goals, 4 assists. You know, but he's only playing like 12, 13 minutes a game. And you know, you've pushed his minutes down. You've pushed Spezza's minutes down. You moved him to wing. You know, he's playing on the second power play unit, and Spezza's got 1 goal this year. You know, and that's hurt. You know, there's a guy who should be producing more, and he hasn't produced, and you know that's hurt your scoring depth as well. You know, Hansel's got 1 goal, I think. I don't have the stat sheet in front of me, but I think he's got 1 goal, and you know he's been playing through some injuries. He missed most of he missed training camp and preseason due to a ankle injury he suffered before training camp. And he's played through some injuries, and I don't think he's fully up to speed. But you know, there's another hit on your scoring depth. So scoring depth's been a big issue for these guys.
You're right. Martin Hansel does have 1 goal. He has 1 goal and 2 assists for 3 points and a terrible plus minus. But I think that 1 goal is an empty netter too, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so that's not ideal. But it seems the good news for Dallas though is that it seems like their defensive issues have been tidied up significantly this year. Last season was they were a very leaky boat, but this season, obviously with Rick Wilson and Ken Hitchcock coming in, things have tightened up significantly. It's helped John Klingberg immensely. He's playing a much better game, but and maybe that's the first step is you got to be good defensively and hope that you can figure out the line combinations as you go along.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. And I think, you know, one of the things is, you know, if you're focusing more on defense, maybe, you know, that's in the back of your mind. You know, when they were playing with Lindy Ruff, it was go, go, go. You know, just go, go, go. And it is a different mindset under Hitchcock. So, you know, it might take time. And, you know, time will tell. If that defense first kind of mentality will eventually lead to more offensive production. But, you know, they are better. I mean, the shots against, I think the other day they were top, you know, best in the league shots against. I think the high danger chances are down. It's still just a little bit matter of execution, you know, turnovers hurting them, you know, some of that execution stuff that still turns out to be a problem, especially on the road. I think their goals against at home has been pretty good. It's the stuff on the road that's really hurt them. And I think that's goes back to that puck management stuff. And if they can clean that up on the road, you know, I think things will have a chance to turn around for them.
Mark Stepneski covering the Stars for DallasStars.com. At Stars Inside Edge is how you follow him on Twitter. Good stuff today, Mark. Appreciate the time, and hopefully we can have you back again soon.
All right, now I got to get focused on a 1:00 start. Not used to those.
Where you go. All right. The Dallas Stars with an afternoon contest today as they host the Edmonton Oilers. It is funny how there will be times that teams show completely differently on the road than they do at home. There were some good stretches on the last Stars road trip, but other times they look terrible on home ice. They've been really good, and it'll be interesting to see how they match up against the Edmonton Oilers on Saturday afternoon. 1 of 13 on the Saturday schedule. We'll touch on other games coming up, including the Toronto Maple Leafs, Montreal Canadiens later on this evening. Robyn Flynn will join us in the next segment. Talk a little Habs, Leafs, rivalry, and much more. Lots to get to with Adam Vingan talking Nashville Predators, Arthur Staple as well with the New York Islanders and their contest against the Tampa Bay Lightning on Saturday. At Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports, the Twitter and Instagram handles. Don't forget, hashtag HU Dog of the Day. Tweet us your dog of the day photos. Perhaps we'll select your dog as the winner. We pick a winner every Saturday. Habs and Maple Leafs talk in the next segment. Robyn Flynn will join us. Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis back after the break.
Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis sends you to the biggest events at the best prices. This year, we've partnered with Seat Giant to give you special deals on tickets to NHL games, concerts, or other events. Simply go to SeatGiant.com, find the tickets you want. When you check out, use the promo code TODD for a special discount. That's promo code TODD for a special discount. Start saving with SeatGiant.com on your next purchase. Get your business started getting more leads. 1-844-SEO-LEAD. The number to call if you want more online leads for your business is 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Search engine optimization can be the difference between success and failure. It's no coincidence which businesses are listed first in Google searches. Call 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Now it's even easier to nominate your dog as the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day. We do it every Saturday. Send us a photo on Twitter or now on Instagram with the hashtag HU Dog of the Day. We choose a winner every Saturday. That's simple. Now on Instagram or Twitter, send us the photo using the hashtag HU Dog of the Day, and your dog could be the one added to our gallery on the website and Facebook page. It's the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day every Saturday. Cutting-edge design for manufacturing, Nova Product Design. Industrial design, mechanical engineering and design. Nova Product Design provides experienced design for parts and assemblies, manufacturing, assembly, and serviceability. From plastic parts to sheet metal forming, mold and tool design, injection molding, and more. Nova Product Design. Visit novaproductdesign.com to learn more. So you had to get groceries, take your daughter to dance class, and a pipe burst in the kitchen. You missed Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis. No problem. All of our shows are available as a podcast right after the show airs, so you can listen when life gets in the way of hearing us live. Subscribe through iTunes and get alerts as soon as the podcast is available, or go to our website, hockeyunfiltered.com, and listen. Plus, check out the other cool stuff. The Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis podcast. Subscribe now through iTunes.
This is Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis. It's the Saturday edition. Join us every Saturday and Sunday, 11 Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, streaming live at hockeyunfiltered.com and on the Hockey Unfiltered app that you can download now at the App Store. Busy Saturday, lots of games going on in the National Hockey League. Of course, because it's Saturday, as we do every week, looking for your nomination for the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day. Hashtag HU Dog of the Day. On Twitter, on Instagram, send us a photo, your name, dog's name. There's a little story that goes along with it. We love dogs. We love to tell their tales and stories. So we choose a dog of the day every Saturday. Adam Vingan will join us later on in the program, talk about the Nashville Predators. Also coming up, a little bit more on the matchup between the Islanders and the Tampa Bay Lightning later on from Arthur Staple of Newsday. A big matchup in Montreal with the Canadiens hosting the Toronto Maple Leafs. Always gets both fan bases energized. Robyn Flynn covers the Canadiens for CJAD Radio and the Athletic Montreal. You can follow her on Twitter at Robyn Lisa Flynn, and she joins us now. Robyn, is there a latest on the Carey Price watch and update from Montreal, or are we left in the dark for another day?
We're still sort of left in the dark. The latest development really is that our local lottery commission has now placed betting odds on when Carey Price will return, and you can even get 15-1 odds on whether he'll be traded. So that's the latest development. It's actually become a bit of a joke here, whether or not he'll return. But from what we can tell, it's still day to day. He was shut down. He wasn't even skating for a couple days. They're being very, very hush-hush. The only thing that they've said is it's not the same injury that kept him out in 2015 for the whole year. We really have no idea what's going on, to be honest. We just know it's a lower body. They're not telling us what it is. And Habs fans are really worried because last time Carey Price was kept out for the entire season, the Habs didn't make the playoffs.
Well, and this is why this whole situation has gotten to the point of ridiculous and stupid, is because there was the fans and media and everyone were completely misled by the Canadiens a couple of seasons ago. And unless we see a different kind of behavior this time, in that you're forthcoming, you're honest and open about what is going on with your prize goaltender that you've just signed to an $80+ million contract extension, why would anyone believe anything else? That this is another problem. Call it a lower body injury if you want, but this is another problem that could see the Habs fall even further behind than they already have.
Yeah, this is an issue that a lot of people have had with the organization for years, is they operate like an Alcatraz. You know, they don't let anything go in or out, and nobody can get any answers. You know, every other team in the league, when they sign somebody, they release the contract details. When there's an injury, they say that it's a knee injury. This is the only team that sort of still operates under the old rules of, you know, the financial details are not being disclosed, or it's an upper or lower body injury. There's this real disdain between the organization and the fans and the media, sort of, we know better than you, we don't have to tell you anything, because quite frankly, they don't. They know they're going to sell out every game. It doesn't really matter how they operate. So it's a little bit frustrating from a media perspective to get answers, because everyone is so tight-lipped. Last week when I was at the Bell Center, I saw Carey Price walking around. He wasn't limping. He's not wearing a brace or anything. So I'm really not sure what the injury is. You know, I'm not a doctor, so I can't say, you know, exactly, hey, he looks fine, he's good to go. But, you know, it's definitely not something catastrophic. He's able to walk and stuff. So I have no idea what is going on. And it's really frustrating. I don't understand why this team won't just be upfront about it, because I feel like the rumor mill is way worse. And there's some nasty rumors circulating about Carey Price in Montreal right now.
Well, you're right. I disagree that they're the only team that operates this way, because there's plenty of that old school nonsense that still goes on of upper body, lower body, and we'll release details as we see fit. But all they are doing is feeding more fuel into the fire, because you're right that it doesn't look that it's that serious right now. But when Carey Price says, yeah, I'm just shutting down for a few days because I'm not getting any better, why would anyone believe anything else other than, you know what, this could be a real problem for a team that started the season off stinking the joint out, but now has won a few games in spite of not having their star goaltender. But there's still an awful lot to worry about with the Canadiens.
Oh, definitely. It's not just Carey Price. And there's also just this lack of communication. You know, head coach Claude Julien said, you know, Charlie Lindgren playing really well has nothing to do with Carey Price's recovery process. And then the very next day, Carey Price said, well, I don't have to worry about rushing back because Lindgren's playing so well. So there's a bit of a disconnect in the message that's going out there. But yeah, Charlie Lindgren has looked very good, but all good things come to an end, right? He obviously can't sustain that level of play long term, and there are defensive liabilities with this team. They still can't score. And on Thursday, they made the worst team in the league, the Arizona Coyotes, look like a Stanley Cup contender. There's definitely something wrong with the way this team operates. They are turning the puck over. They're going back to that old sort of dump and chase style. A lot of the time, it looks so disconnected. They can't even finish their passes. So I don't understand how this team could have so drastically changed from last year when on paper, yeah, they didn't, you know, improve very much. They lost Radulov. They brought in Jonathan Drouin. If anything, they were on par with last season. But even the star players have regressed this year. So there's a lot more issues than just Carey Price. I think maybe the team is happy to see the fans and media focusing a little bit on Carey Price, because it takes a bit of the heat off the other holes on this team.
Well, you're right. Last year they were a flawed team, and Carey Price bailed them out on numerous occasions. They don't have that same luxury this year. But you're right about their roster. It seems as though they have guys that they have brought in and tried to put into a specific role, but they weren't necessarily suited to that role that they're looking for. Whether it's Jonathan Drouin being asked to play center for the first time in his professional career, and after only playing center for a brief period during his junior career, or whether they're asking other players to take on greater roles and score more goals than they're really capable of. It just seems as though they're trying to fit players into a role because, well, we think this might work.
And that's an old school mentality, right? That's an old general management and coaching decision, which is weird because I thought when they hired Claude Julien last year that a little bit of that old school Michel Therrien style of coaching would go out the window. Today's NHL isn't as much about the system. Of course, every coach has his system, but you have to adapt your system depending on the kind of players that play within it. If you have a PK Subban playing on your roster, I know you're going to talk to Adam about the Preds a little bit later, you have to sort of adapt and let a star player play their own system, really. I think that's what makes a good coach today. And that's not what we're seeing right now. They're forcing players to do stuff they're not comfortable with. And that's not going to help you win any games. It's suddenly making Shea Weber look like a bad hockey player. And he's not a bad hockey player. He's just not playing very well within the system right now. And it's almost hard to pinpoint what the issue is. I wonder, honestly, if it's between the ears and they need to hire a better sports psychologist, because this team doesn't really seem to believe that they can win. And I know none of them will admit that, but they just seem so dejected when you talk to them. They seem so frustrated, like they just honestly don't know what to do at this point. It almost feels, honestly, like they've already written the season off, and it's November.
Well, yes, it is November and they're at 20 games, but when you look at where they are in the standings with only the Florida Panthers and the Buffalo Sabres behind them, it's hard to be optimistic. I think it's interesting that you say that it's between their ears. It's a mental thing, because it was 2 weeks ago that Marc Bergevin said that it's not the personnel that's the problem. It's the solutions are in that room. The solutions are with the players. If they get some confidence, then everything will be fine. I find that difficult to swallow, though, because there are clearly visible deficiencies in that lineup. And you can say that it's confidence, but there are clear visible deficiencies in what they are capable of doing. Oh, that's too bad. It was going so well, I thought, with Robyn Flynn from CJAD and The Athletic talking about the Montreal Canadiens. We apologize. Apparently, we've lost Robyn, but it is hard to be optimistic about the Montreal Canadiens, where they stand, where they are. When you look at the current standings after 20 games, it's Florida and it's Buffalo that's behind the Montreal Canadiens. That's it. And there were greater expectations for the Montreal Canadiens, certainly going into this season, even with the losses of Radulov and the trading of Sergachev and bringing in Drouin and Andrei Markov not coming back. There were higher expectations. There should be higher expectations because there is at least some talent on that team. But I'm at a loss to figure out exactly what is going on with the Montreal Canadiens. Is it leftover from a couple of seasons ago when Carey Price did get injured and not having that same kind of confidence in their goaltending? And understandably that you would feel differently about Charlie Lindgren or Al Montoya or whoever's playing goal if it's not Carey Price, because Carey Price covers up so many of the mistakes that the rest of the Montreal Canadiens made. Apparently we have got Robyn Flynn back. You are back now, Robyn. Yay.
I am. Yay. Sorry about that.
No, stuff happens. I was asking about the mental state of the Canadiens. Marc Bergevin talking about they need some confidence, but there's still some clear deficiencies in that Montreal Canadiens lineup.
Yeah, and it's a very different locker room than it has been in years past. And I was talking about this recently with another reporter, how different it feels when you're talking to the players. Obviously, it's hard to talk to players after they are losing a few games in a row or when they lose to the worst team in the league. Obviously they're going to be dejected. But I was in that locker room in 2015 when Carey Price was hurt. The sense of optimism was still this, okay, once we get here, it's a rough match, we'll get through it. Got hurt. But don't worry, we'll get Gallagher back. It was, they were frustrated, but there was still hope. And when you talk to them now, they are just so, just saying the right things, just saying what they're told to say. The last time that Carey Price was actually speaking, when he was still playing, there was a journalist who asked him about empty seats in the stands, which is not something that you often see at the Bell Center, but fans are frustrated and they're leaving or they're not showing up. And, Carey Price was very, very blasé and saying, it's their money, they can do what they want, whatever. I don't pay attention to that. But if their attitude is just, I don't know, they seem depressed. So there's definitely something going on between the ears, but I don't know what that is. I really don't, because Claude Julien is a great coach, and I honestly thought that bringing him in and getting rid of Michel Therrien would make a world of difference, and it hasn't seemed to.
I agree with you. I like Claude Julien as a coach. I got a lot of time for him, but it seems as though unless Brendan Gallagher, unless Max Pacioretty, unless Jonathan Drouin, maybe Galchenyuk, or perhaps more likely Charles Hudon can contribute some offense and score on a consistent basis, this team is going to flounder outside of the playoffs and miss again. And if that happens, there will be people in the streets with pitchforks and torches, I think.
Oh, definitely, especially now that Carey Price has been signed to a $10 million contract, which the day they signed that, I was saying that's a huge mistake, because no team can win in the NHL when your best player is your goaltender. There's lots of extremely talented goalies in the NHL, but the New York Rangers haven't won with Henrik Lundqvist. And when you have a goaltender that is paid that much money, it means you have less money to spend in any other area. And all you really need these days is slightly better than league average goaltending that maybe heats up a bit around the playoffs. And you can win with that. That is not how you win anymore. You can't build around a Marty Brodeur or a Patrick Waugh. You need to build up front. You need a puck-moving defenseman, which the Habs don't have right now. And you need guys who can score. And Max Pacioretty used to be major bang for your buck at $4.5 million, but those days are coming to an end. This cup window, I think, has officially closed for Montreal. They had to do it.
Cup window?
They still had PK on the roster. I think they had a cup window, honestly, when Carey Price was only making $6 million, Max Pacioretty was making $4.5 million, and they still had PK Subban. But once those days were done and they didn't get it done in that window, the furthest they could go was a conference final. I think it shut, and it's, another 10 years of mediocrity.
Yeah. No, as I mentioned, off the top, it's always quiet, always very easygoing and relaxed in Montreal. Nothing that big ever happens in that city. Robyn Flynn, CJAD, and the Athletic Montreal. At Robyn Lisa Flynn is how you follow her on Twitter. Good stuff today, Robyn. Sorry we lost you briefly, but I'm happy we got you back to finish up, and hopefully we can do this again soon. Really good.
Please. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Robyn Flynn, covering the Montreal Canadiens. I am very curious to see what kind of Canadiens team shows up Saturday night hosting the Toronto Maple Leafs, their traditional rival. Thought I was going to say forever rivals, the drinking game. No. Their traditional rival, Toronto on the upswing with fast, skilled, young talent. Montreal Canadiens, led by their stuck in the dark ages general manager, Marc Bergevin, still trying to play another style of hockey and conduct their business a certain way. This is a good head-to-head comparison of two teams that are going in different directions. I'm anxious to see what we get tonight. At Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports, the Twitter and Instagram handle. Still looking for your Dog of the Day nominations for about another hour. We will take your nominations. We choose our Dog of the Day every Saturday. Use the hashtag HU Dog of the Day. We will pick a winner and let you know and put the photos, of course, up on our Facebook page, up on our website. In the next segment, first half of the list, Todd's favorite things. Yes, the much anticipated and waited for. We'll dive into the first half of the list coming up in our next segment. Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis, back after the break.
So you had to get groceries, take your daughter to dance class, and a pipe burst in the kitchen. You missed Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis. No problem. All of our shows are available as a podcast right after the show airs, so you can listen when life gets in the way of hearing us live. Subscribe through iTunes and get alerts as soon as the podcast is available, or go to our website, hockeyunfiltered.com, and listen. Plus, check out the other cool stuff, the Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis podcast. Subscribe now through iTunes. Get your business started getting more leads. 1-844-SEO-LEAD. The number to call if you want more online leads for your business is 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Search engine optimization can be the difference between success and failure. It's no coincidence which businesses are listed first in Google searches. Call 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis sends you to the biggest events at the best prices. This year, we've partnered with Seat Giant to give you special deals on tickets to NHL games, concerts, or other events. Simply go to SeatGiant.com, find the tickets you want. When you check out, use the promo code TODD for a special discount. That's promo code TODD for a special discount. Start saving with SeatGiant.com on your next purchase. Nova Product Design is designed for manufacturing. Nova Product Design can get the job done with mechanical and industrial design. Nova Product Design is also fully functional for laser cutting, water jet cutting, plating, coatings, and more. Nova Product Design, innovative design and the latest technologies. Nova Product Design can design, build, and test any required types of prototypes and beta units. Visit novaproductdesign.com. We're looking for your Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day nominations every Saturday. Now you can send them through Instagram. Use the hashtag HU Dog of the Day, send us a photo of your dog on Twitter or Instagram to nominate them as the HU Dog of the Day. Include your name, the dog's name, and any other cool details you want. We choose a winner and add them to the Dog of the Day gallery on our website and Facebook page. It's the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day every Saturday. Hashtag HU Dog of the Day.
Welcome back. Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis, Saturday edition. Here's Saturdays and Sundays, streaming live at hockeyunfiltered.com and on the Hockey Unfiltered app, powered by Primetime Radio. We're also live on Facebook. We're live on Periscope. We're on YouTube Live. So many points of distribution, and enjoying a busy Saturday and another good day coming up tomorrow. It's a busy weekend in the NHL. 13 games today. There's 5 tomorrow. There's lots going on, lots of stories, and we'll got you covered for the rest of today and then again tomorrow. Hashtag HU Dog of the Day to tweet us your photos for your Dog of the Day nominees at Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports, the Twitter and Instagram handles. Now, one of the moments we've been waiting for and looking forward to. We did it last year. Huge response. In the same tradition as Oprah doing her favorite things list, Ellen doing her days of Christmas, we put together a list of Todd's favorite things. We did it last year for the first time, as mentioned, a huge response. And most of these items are available through Amazon. We'll put up links on our website. You can access it through that point. It's the simplest and easiest way. And just to run through the first half of the list, as mentioned, it'll be up on our Facebook page. It'll be up on our website, hockeyunfiltered.com as well. So if you miss one and you want to check it out, it's very worthwhile and worth your time. The first thing we like to do is list on Todd's favorite things that, remember what time of year it is, and there are a number of charities that we like to highlight and point out the great work that they do, starting with rescue dog shelters in your area. Lots of teams are releasing their Pups and Players 2018 calendars for sale now, with proceeds going to great shelters and other worthwhile dog charities. We encourage you to support them. A number of other charities that I am a big fan of, VH1's Save the Music, promoting music education. Our friend Justin Goldman's charity, the Goalie Guild, helping people get into the sport that we love. Another one that is really interesting and I really like, it's called Sleeping Children Around the World. It provides bedding to kids who need it around the world, and 100% of those donations are used. There's no administration. It's all donated. Of course, with it being Hockey Fights Cancer Month, Canadian and U.S. cancer societies, whether it's through the Hockey Fights Cancer charity or another one that I'm a fan of is Racing for Cancer, we encourage you to support those. Now, a number of hockey-themed favorite things as well. We'll start with the list of books, including our current book of the month, which is Behind the Bench from Craig Custance. It's terrific. Game Change, and of course his book, The Game, by Ken Dryden. Smart Things I Learned Doing Stupid Stuff by Chip Gaines. Yes, of Chip and Joanna fame. A Man, a Plan, a Pan. 10 one-pan recipes. 10 one-pan recipes by Paul Kita. And Munchies, Late Night Meals from the World's Best Chefs. Also another one. Another one in the... A couple of other books, actually, that make the list. The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein. It's a fave. It's not just about racing. It's about life and so much more. And the other book that I have several copies of and that I have sent to people at times when I thought that they needed it. I read it the first time after losing a dog, and it helped me, and I have passed it on to several people. It's called The Last Will and Testament of an Extremely Distinguished Dog. It's by Eugene O'Neill. It is a terrific piece of literature if you ever have to need it. It's a fast 10-minute read, but really helps. Okay, now on to the good stuff. Food and beverages. There are lots of people that like Mexican beer, whether it's Corona or Dos Equis. I have an affinity for Pacifico beer, really nice. Oyster Bay, Sauvignon Blanc, Cotsbrook, Sauvignon Blanc, excellent wine. If it's vodka, I'm a personal fan of Absolute Vodka. There is a large jug of it in my freezer right now. And I have recently been turned on to a specific kind of champagne. It's not crazy priced, but it's very good. It's called Miele Champagne. Small French vineyards in the Champagne region. Seattle's Best Coffee is a fave of mine as well. It's great when you want that one afternoon cup of coffee, just to sit, take 15, 20 minutes and enjoy a nice cup of coffee. A few gear items, and if you were following us on our social media feeds over the last few days, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Instagram, whether it's our Facebook page, we have a couple of quick videos pointing out a few of the items on Todd's favorite things list, including Kenneth Cole unlisted men's fashion sneakers. They look great, they're comfortable, and they are very cost effective as well. Also, the quick video was up about the Swiss Gear ScanSmart TSA backpack. I travel like 50 trips a year. I have always had a briefcase. I've usually had one on wheels, but I switched this year to this backpack. It makes getting through security and stuff, if you have to at airports on a regular basis, it's fantastic. Really works well. Bag travel ID labels. They're steel. They don't break off your luggage. I just bought another pair of this next item on the list. It's mechanics wear gloves. They're really good. They come in all kinds of different colors and stuff too. I tend to spill things, whether it's water, whether it's coffee, whether it's drinks or food. So I wear Columbia Omni Shield shorts because they are water resistant and stain resistant, and I find that helps. Sunglasses are worth the investment. If you saw the video on our social media feeds, there are times though when I go through pairs of sunglasses like you can't believe, because they break, because I drop them, because I lose them. Dodoma sunglasses are inexpensive but high quality. They are really good. A couple of other helpful items. New Finishes Scratch Doctor. I last spring had some idiot back up over my car and scratch the hood. I thought, that's it. It's going to cost me $500 or $700 to get that fixed. Nope. New Finishes Scratch Doctor works great. And I am still a fan of the old style calendars on paper. I use one every year just to keep my schedule straight. They're called At a Glance Day Minders. When you open the page, it shows the entire month. It has lines so that you can write out your schedule. I find it helpful if I'm really busy and have a lot of things on the go. This really helps you move through and find your way. It's just a simple thing, but it helps keep me organized. Okay, that's the first half of the list. There are other items as well. There's music to come. There's kitchen items to come. We will get to those in hour number 2. In addition, lots more hockey talk as well, focusing on the 13 games on the Saturday schedule. Adam Vingan from the Tennessean will join us. He will talk a little bit more about the Preds and their matchup against the Colorado Avalanche. Arthur Staple also coming up to talk about the Isles and the Tampa Bay Lightning and all the other news that's going on with the New York Islanders. At Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports, the Twitter and Instagram handles. You'll be able to check out the list of Todd's favorite things on our website and put it up on our Facebook page as well. Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis. Back with more after the break.
Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis sends you to the biggest events at the best prices. This year, we've partnered with Seat Giant to give you special deals on tickets to NHL games, concerts, or other events. Simply go to SeatGiant.com, find the tickets you want. When you check out, use the promo code TODD for a special discount. That's promo code TODD for a special discount. Start saving with SeatGiant.com on your next purchase. Look, we know it happens. Life gets in the way and sometimes you can't catch the live edition of Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis. But we've made it easy for you to catch up on the show you might have missed. Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis is available as a podcast on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Blog Talk Radio. You don't want to miss an episode. If you missed the live show, check out the podcast. Don't miss any shows. There's a test coming up later. Subscribe now. Get your business started getting more leads. 1-844-SEO-LEAD. The number to call if you want more online leads for your business is 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Search engine optimization can be the difference between success and failure. It's no coincidence which businesses are listed first in Google searches. Call 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Use the code Get the Savings. Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis listeners save with SeatGiant and the promo code TODD. That's TODD at SeatGiant.com. Just log on to SeatGiant.com to find the best tickets to NHL games, concerts, or whatever you want and save. Use the promo code TODD. That's TODD when you check out and you save. Canadian listeners can save at SeatGiant.ca. That's SeatGiant.com and .ca. Cutting-edge design for manufacturing, Nova Product Design, industrial design, mechanical engineering and design. Nova Product Design provides experienced design for parts and assemblies, manufacturing, assembly, and serviceability. From plastic parts to sheet metal forming, mold and tool design, injection molding, and more. Nova Product Design. Visit novaproductdesign.com to learn more.
This is Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis.
Hour number 2 set to go. A lot of stories to get into. It is a busy day in the National Hockey League with 13 games. Bunch of matinees. We like it that way. Joining us this hour, Adam Vingan from the Tennessean. We'll talk Nashville Predators. Their matchup today against the Colorado Avalanche. Arthur Stable from Newsday covers the New York Islanders. We'll welcome Arthur back to talk about the Islanders. Undoubtedly some John Tavares talk, maybe Arena, maybe a few other things as well. But we'll have Arthur back to talk about the Isles and their matchup on Saturday against the Tampa Bay Lightning and much more. It being Saturday, of course, we were looking for your Dog of the Day nominations. Hashtag is HU Dog of the Day. Send them to our social media feeds at Hockey Unfiltered. Through Twitter, through Instagram, nice photo of the pooch, your name, your dog's name. If there's a nice story that goes along with it, we like that too. We love service dogs, working dogs like Charlie, the service dog that dropped the puck at the Islander game a couple of nights ago. Love that. It was up on our Twitter feed a couple of days ago. It's up on our Facebook page as well. Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis streaming live at hockeyunfiltered.com and on the Hockey Unfiltered app. Powered by Primetime Radio. We're live on Facebook. Oh, I got a great Facebook question a couple seconds ago. I wanted to get into it now because I'll talk about the Flyers in a second. We're live on Periscope, on YouTube Live, every Saturday and Sunday, 11 Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. As mentioned, it is 13 games on the Saturday schedule, really busy, including the Calgary Flames and the Philadelphia Flyers in afternoon action. These two teams kind of connected because both are going to be involved with the Department of Player Safety. Matthew Tkachuk suspended on Friday night for a game for behaving like a jackass. Or, I'm paraphrasing, he was suspended for a game for unsportsmanlike contact for his slash, not spear, but slash on the back of Luke Witkowski, who decided he'd go back on the ice, and that earned him a 10-game suspension. I wasn't sure that Matthew Tkachuk was going to be suspended. Glad he was. He deserved it, behaved like an idiot, and he's paying the price now, as he should. I thought it would only be a fine, but unlike anyone else I saw, that Matthew Tkachuk is a repeat offender because he was suspended in the spring. Little bit more severe penalty, so you got to go above and beyond the call for the fine. Remember the water bottle squirting at the beginning of the season with Tampa and the Rangers? That got big fines from the league for unsportsmanlike conduct. What Matthew Tkachuk did went above and beyond that. Plus, he's a repeat offender. Suspend him a game. I'm good with it. I'm really good with that. I got no problem with that at all. The Facebook question I got about the Philadelphia Flyers, and we are live on Facebook every Saturday and Sunday, 11 Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, comes from Joseph. What about the Flyers' problems? Do you think it's the coach? No, I don't think the Flyers have problems with the coach at all. I think there are a couple of things with the Philadelphia Flyers. that they have a really good line that is doing the majority of their scoring, and they're not getting quite enough scoring from some of their other lines. And the other part of that is maybe it's because they're not able to put Braden Shen out on the ice anymore the way the St. Louis Blues are. Maybe that's a bit of an issue. I think Philly's okay. I think they're going to be nip and tuck to make the playoffs. I didn't pick them to make the playoffs, but I think they'll, they're kind of at the 500 bubble mark right now. And I can see that being kind of their level of success for this season because there's a bunch of other good teams. The other thing that Philly's going to have to deal with, as mentioned, Department of Player Safety. Boy, it was really quiet for George Peros, the new head of the Department of Player Safety, leading up to this week. But then you had the nonsense between the Detroit Red Wings and the Calgary Flames and teams and players acting like idiots. So a couple of guys had to get suspended. I'm surprised there weren't a couple more fines out of that either that have been announced, because there were players on both sides that were kind of grabbing and kind of throwing a few shots from the bench, and that is frowned upon. But the one that is going to be watched over the next day or two or whenever the suspension is coming, and trust me, there is a suspension coming, is with Radko Gudas, who laid the wicked two-hand chop across the back of the net of Winnipeg Jets forward Matthew Perreault. He's going to pay the price. Gudas was offered an in-person hearing, which means they can hit him up big time. 5 and up is where they can go, and it's going to be 5 and up. 5, no, that's not going to do it. 6, no, that's not going to do it either. I think it's got to go up. The number could be 8. Radko Gudas was suspended most recently for 6 games for a nasty hit. Previous to that, he also got penalized with a 3-game suspension, again, for a hitting offense. Those were in the fall of 2016, and there was the previous one in 15. He is going to pay the price here. Both of the previous suspensions, hits, not stick fouls, but it's relevant. He's a repeat offender. Is he going to get 8? Is he going to get 9? Is he going to get 10? I think it will be under double digit. I don't think it'll be 9. It would be symmetric if it went 3, 6, and 9, but I don't know if he'll get 9 because the offense occurred in the first period, so that may be taken into account. Maybe the number is 8. And good for the league to throw the book at him. I really hope they do. Wouldn't be a great loss. I mean, it's going to impact the Flyers. I got no problems with players like Radko Gudas who play a hard physical game. I'm okay with that. But there's a line that you can't cross over. You can't check guys from behind. You can't put vicious and dirty hits on them. And you can't give them a two-hander across the back of the head. If you do, you got to pay the price. If you step over the line, you get punished. You get punished severely, and you should. The other interesting part of this whole Radko Gudas situation, if you were watching the game, I was tweeting with Dave Isaac a little bit during the game. The other interesting part about the whole Radko Gudas situation, it's not being talked about, but I'll bring it up. It's not being focused on because of the severity of the offense, and Gudas is getting a hearing, and he's going to get suspended for a long time. But the incident itself had Radko Gudas and Matthew Perreault kind of fighting with a group of players. They were battling, sort of in a scrum, looking for the puck. And the result was Perreault kind of gave Gudas a shot, and that's when Gudas clubbed him over the back of the head. So the referee is in the corner, sees what's going on. He whistles it down, and the two players are escorted to the penalty box. Gord Dwyer, John McIsaac were the two officials, the referees. The penalties were announced as 2-minute minors for both players because you can hear the announcement. Then a replay happens to appear on the scoreboard at center ice, and there is a huge roar that went up in the crowd. Now, I don't know if it was Dwyer or McIsaac who saw the replay or whether it was one of the linesmen, David Brisebois and Darren Gibbs. But somehow, after that first or second replay up on the big screen at center ice in Winnipeg, the 4 officials then began to huddle and have a discussion. Now, honestly, I don't care if the officials snuck a peek. One of them snuck a peek up and saw that it was a lumberjack chop over the back of Matthew Perreault's head. and then thought, you know what? We got to talk about this. This is a much more severe offense than was initially thought. And depending on what angle you watch the play from, would give you a better indication as to the severity of the chop. Because if you see it from one angle that the referee did initially, it's all right, yeah, it's a pretty good slash, and it's definitely a penalty, and that's why the play was whistled down. But if you look at it from some other angles, it looks a lot worse, and it is. And no, referees, officials are not supposed to scoreboard watch. That's part of the deal. Don't watch the scoreboard. Look what's happening on the ice. Watch the play in front of you. Try not to get killed by the players or the puck. And make the calls that you see. Honestly, though, I don't care. If one of them snuck a peek and thought, you know what, we got to deal with this right now. It's a much more severe offense than I originally thought. I got to get the other guys together on this. I don't care. Doesn't bother me. If they want to sneak a peek and get the call right, I am perfectly okay with that. There are some that will gripe about it, mostly those when the call goes against their team. But if you see a replay and you get the call right, what's the downside? You haven't held up the game for minutes. You've gotten the call right. If you just happen to sneak a peek, we got these great big giant video boards at buildings. I mean, some of them are bigger than movie screens. They're enormous. You get quick and efficient replays from a variety of angles. And if you just happen to catch a glimpse out of the corner of your eye as you're skating back to your position and get ready and line up for the face-off, I don't care. I don't care. In this case, for something like this, yeah, I don't care. I'm not saying I want linesmen to watch the replay of every pass across the blue line and make a call that way. I'm not saying I want every rush up and down the ice reviewed by the players or the officials watching on the scoreboard. But in an instance like this, you've got a penalty called. The players are being escorted to the penalty box, sat down, and in that time, one of the officials on the ice happens to glance at the scoreboard and see that it's a lumberjack chop from one player over another. And you know what? Maybe this is 5 in a game and not a 2-minute minor. I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm not saying review every play. I'm not saying go through a whole official process, but if you glance at the scoreboard every now and again, go right ahead. It's not going to bother me. On a play like this, where there is absolutely 100% a penalty involved, it's a question of how severe it is, whether it's slashing, whether it's a check from behind. I'd be happy to have officials view that again. Get the call right. Player saw the numbers, drove them into the boards, throw them out. Yeah, absolutely. There's a play in the Detroit game last night where Jordan Nolan sent one of the Detroit Red Wings face first into the boards. Puck was gone. He got 2 minutes for boarding. He also could have got 2 minutes for interference. A play like that, if an official glances up, has a look at it and says, you know what? I can give him more. I'm okay with that. It's not an official review where you have to go and get the iPad out and that kind of stuff. Just have a quick glance. It's okay. It's okay by me. I'd rather officials did that and got the call right. But Jordan Nolan should have got more than a 2-minute boarding penalty last night. Was it 5? It's close. It absolutely was boarding, and it was also interference. I'd be okay with officials giving both penalties. Maybe that's the way to look at it. Penalize all the offenses, not just some of them. Oh, he got 2 minutes for boarding. I don't want to give him another penalty. Why not? He committed the offense. He absolutely should get the penalty for it. If it's boarding, if it's interference, give them both. At Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports are the Twitter and Instagram handles. Hashtag HU Dog of the Day. Tweet us your photos of your favorite dog. We've had a few good ones coming in. Oh yes, there's a great one from Brian with his pooch. I'm not sure what the money is doing in the photo, but I'd be interested in the story. Hashtag HU Dog of the Day, your chance to nominate your dog as the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day. Before the hour is out, the remaining items on the list of Todd's favorite things, it will be up on our website. We'll put it up on the Facebook page as well. You can check it out there. Arthur Staple talking Islanders and Tampa Bay Lightning before the hour is out. And in the next segment, Adam Vingan of the Tennessean talking about the Nashville Predators, their contest today against the Colorado Avalanche. Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis, back with more after the break.
The best way to get set for the busy Saturday night of hockey is with Hockey Primetime. Beginning at 5 p.m. Eastern, host Connor McKenna whips you around the league for the latest stories and info leading up to the early game starts. Plus, he'll give his own spin on the biggest stories in the National Hockey League. Hockey Primetime with Connor McKenna. Sometimes serious, sometimes a little goofy, but always interesting. Listen live at hockeyprimetime.com, 5 p.m. Eastern every Saturday. Creativity and innovation are the hallmarks of Nova product design. Whether it's mechanical or industrial, cutting-edge technology and a commitment to excellence make Nova product design the company to choose. Prototypes and beta units are a Nova product design specialty. Striving for revolutionary new ideas and methods keep Nova product design at the forefront of innovation. Visit novaproductdesign.com and learn more. Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis sends you to the biggest events at the best prices. This year, we've partnered with Seat Giant to give you special deals on tickets to NHL games, concerts, or other events. Simply go to SeatGiant.com, find the tickets you want. When you check out, use the promo code TODD for a special discount. That's promo code TODD for a special discount. Start saving with SeatGiant.com on your next purchase. Being on the World Wide Web is great. Being found is the tricky part. 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Search engine optimization is the only way your business can get a leg up on the competition. 1-844-SEO-LEAD. For the necessary tools to make your business stand out in a crowded marketplace, 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Now it's even easier to nominate your dog as the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day. We do it every Saturday. Send us a photo on Twitter or now on Instagram with the hashtag HU Dog of the Day. We choose a winner every Saturday. That's simple. Now on Instagram or Twitter, send us the photo using the hashtag HU Dog of the Day, and your dog could be the one added to our gallery on the website and Facebook page. It's the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day every Saturday.
Welcome back. It's Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis, Saturday edition. Here Saturdays and Sundays, 11 Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, streaming live at hockeyunfiltered.com and on the Hockey Unfiltered app powered by Primetime Radio. Before the hour is out, Arthur Staple will join us. We'll talk a little New York Islanders, Isles, and the Tampa Bay Lightning a little bit later on today. Also, one of the 13 games on the Saturday schedule, the Nashville Predators hosting the Colorado Avalanche. Adam Vingan covers the Predators for the Tennessean. You can follow him on Twitter at Adam Vingan, and he joins us now. Adam, how big an exhale did everyone have the other day when Ryan Johansson scored his first goal of the season?
Well, I think it certainly helped because he was the NHL's highest paid forward without a goal before he was able to slip one past Devin Dubnyk, who had recorded 3 consecutive shutouts up until that point. On Thursday evening. Of course, it was the first goal of 4 for the Predators, who led that game 3-0 and ultimately lost to 6-4. Ryan. One of the reasons why Ryan Johansson hasn't been able to score goals is that he doesn't shoot the puck a whole lot. That shot that ultimately led to his first goal was the only shot on goal he had for their game. So after the first 49 seconds, he didn't register a shot on goal for the remaining 59-11. Which is not what you want. Luckily, that goal for him went in, fortunately for the Predators. But, they still need more from him. I think he's had a good season overall in terms of playmaking, which he is known for. But for a player who scored 33 goals for the Columbus Blue Jackets 4 years ago, he certainly needs to be able to put the puck in the net more than he has. He actually has, if my math is right, 10 fewer goals as a member of the Nashville Predators, which he became one in January 2016, than he had in his career season for the Blue Jackets 4 years ago. in a single season. So goal scoring has not been his forte here, and they need more of that from him.
Yeah, just looking at the statistics, you can see his shots on goal numbers are particularly low. I'm not sure if is it just something that Peter Laviolette has to emphasize with him, or just sort of get past some sort of mental hump, but just shoot the puck, because he certainly has the ability to do so.
Yeah, and I wrote a story about him earlier this week, and I talked to a couple of his current and former teammates. One of the former teammates was Blue Jackets captain Nick Polino. I spoke to him in Columbus when the Predators were there playing the Blue Jackets, and Nick was a line mate of Ryan's when he was having goal-scoring success in Columbus. And he said something that really was echoed by many people, was that, he has a great shot and a great release. He just doesn't use it enough, and he gets into those areas where he can have a grade A scoring chance and opts to pass instead, and it can cause him some problems. And Scott Hartnell, who is currently out for the Predators because of injury, but played with Ryan in Columbus as well, said that sometimes I think he needs to be a little bit more selfish in those areas of the ice. When you're playing with Philip Forsberg and Victor Arvidsson, who each scored 30 goals last year, you want to be able to get them the puck, but you also need to look out for number 1, or I guess number 92 in this particular aspect. So it's a matter of just being a little selfish sometimes. If you've got a great scoring chance, take the shot. Don't look to make the pretty play. Sometimes putting it on net, as he said, works out well too, because it can create a rebound that his winger can pick up. So it's not just about helping his teammates; it's about helping himself.
Adam Vingan is our guest, covers the Nashville Predators for the Tennessean. At Adam Vingan is how you follow him on Twitter. How has the new guy worked out so far? Kyle Turris, the much talked about trade that involves Matt Duchene going to Ottawa. Kyle Turris arrives in Nashville. He's only played a few games, but he has put up a couple of points. It just seems like he is a nice fit for that team to provide them depth at center, a little goal scoring, a little playmaking, and sure looks like is happy to be there too, signing that contract extension.
Yeah, he had a great debut. He had a goal and an assist last Saturday against Pittsburgh. He's the 5th Predators player to record a multi-point debut. Actually, the one previous to him was Ryan Johansson in January 2016 when he did that against the Colorado Avalanche in Denver. But I think he's looked really good so far, considering that he only had a couple of practices before he got a chance to play last week. I think he's done really well with his line mates, Kevin Fiala and Craig Smith, particularly Craig Smith, who's already having somewhat of a resurgent year. Last year, only had 12 goals. After 3 previous seasons of 20+, he already has 6 this season. They're playing with a lot of speed. They're creating a lot of chances. Kevin Fiala finally got on the board last week against the Washington Capitals. I think Turris can help both of them out really well. I think they mesh well together. And it's not set in stone that those 3 will remain together, but it also allows the Forsberg, Johansson, Arvidsson line to remain intact while also having another top 6 potent line that they can throw over the boards at a moment's notice. So I do think it's been a good look for the Predators so far. It's balanced their center depth well. It puts Nick Bonino in a better situation, in my opinion, as a bottom 6 center, not as a top 6 center. You have Kelly Yarncroke and Colton Sissons, who can also play center. So I think it really helps their lineup up and down the forward ranks.
I'm glad you mentioned Kevin Fiala, because I wanted to ask you about him. He's only got 1 goal on the season so far, but I kind of expected a little more offensive output from him this season. Maybe it's just the line matchups, and now that they've got them set with Kyle Turris, at least for the time being, maybe that works out. But I thought I'd see a little more goal scoring from him.
I think they did too, especially with the way that he played near the end of the regular season last year and into the playoffs, especially in that first round against Chicago, until he gruesomely broke his leg in Game 1 of the second round against the St. Louis Blues. But they were confident in him to be able to pick up that offensive slack. That's why they were okay with letting James Neal go to the Vegas Golden Knights in the expansion draft. But another thing with him, similarly to Ryan Johansson, was that he wasn't putting the puck on net a whole lot when he wasn't scoring. And he can be a high volume shooter, and he just wasn't getting shots off. But he recognized that, and I remember talking to him about a month ago, and he said that he didn't think his season had been very good. And I talked to him last week before he scored, and he said that he feels like it's been up and down and too inconsistent. So I think he's been very active, especially since Kyle Turris showed up. I think that's been good for him to play with a skilled center like Kyle Turris. Not to say that he hasn't played with a skilled center before. He had played with Ryan Johansson at various points early this season and last season, but they need more from him. They need more from Pontus Aberg as well, who's currently on a conditioning stint in the American Hockey League, but had 4 goals in 3 games for the Milwaukee Admirals. Hadn't yet scored for Nashville yet, so that's an encouraging sign, especially because Scott Hartnell's going to miss 3 to 5 weeks with an injury, so that when that conditioning stint expires, at least they know that Pontus Aberg has found his goal-scoring touch in the AHL, so that certainly helps.
The Preds have dealt with a few injuries this season. You mentioned Scott Hartnell being the latest one, and they seem to be, for the most part, handling it okay. They have a lot of depth at defense, especially. Matthias Ekholm has been good. Roman Jossi's been terrific. I don't know if this seems the same to you. Tell me if it does or if it doesn't. But PK Subban's having a good year, but this might be the quietest year that PK Subban has had since he's been in the National Hockey League. He doesn't necessarily seem to be the larger-than-life personality that's dominating headlines anymore.
I think that's a good adjective. I certainly would have said it too, just from even the way he's playing on the ice. He has been playing very well, but he's not doing anything flashy necessarily. He's just going about his business the way that he can. And I don't think it's a concerted. I don't think it's he's making a specific effort to, quiet himself down. I still think he has that personality that people really love. But, on the ice, he's doing it without, you look at the plays that he's made and the goals he scored and the rushes that he's led. There haven't been very many highlight reel moments from him yet this season, but he's still playing well. And I think that's good. I think that was one of the things that was most beneficial to him when he got traded here, was that he didn't have to be the guy every single night on defense. You have Roman Josi, you have Matthias Ekholm when he's healthy, you have Ryan Ellis. You don't need to be the guy who's leading every rush and making every play. And I think that's really been helpful. And I think now that he's gotten comfortable here, he knows his role. He knows where his place is on the team, in the locker room. I think he's a lot more comfortable, and I think that's really helped. So I think he's had a very good season so far. But as you mentioned, it hasn't been, there hasn't been a lot of publicity about it, but that will probably change a week from Wednesday, because the Montreal Canadiens are in Nashville the day before Thanksgiving, so you know how that always goes.
I can imagine that there'd probably be a few stories about PK facing his former team. Adam, I want to ask you too about Pekka Rinne, who I think has also been good for the Nashville Predators this year. There were some knocks on Pekka Rinne, and would the Nashville Predators really be able to have an opportunity to win with him? I think the tandem and goal has worked well with Rinne and Saros so far this year.
Yeah, I think Pekka has played well again this season. I mean, even in games where maybe he's led up more goals than he would like, maybe 3 or 4 goals, the offense has come on lately and given him the run support. I feel like in a lot of games at the beginning of the season, he was playing well, but the team wasn't scoring a lot. So it's similar to an ace on the mound in baseball who gives his team 7.5 to 8 really good innings, but then only scores 1 run and they lose the game. I still think that's what Pekka Rinne was experiencing in the first maybe 2 or 3 weeks of the season. Lately, the Predators' offense has found its footing, and their defense could use a little bit of work. If you didn't catch the game on Thursday, I think it's Minnesota, but I think that's helped. And Saros is currently in Milwaukee because he's waiver exempt. They still have that ability to send him down to get some playing time. He had made 4 starts this season. He had won his most recent start about a couple of weeks ago in Los Angeles in a game where the Predators led 3-0 in the third period and needed overtime to win 4-3. But he's there now. He started the other night for the Admirals. I'm not sure exactly of how he did, but Anders Lindback, the veteran goaltender who used to start for the Predators, is backing up Pekka Rinne. He did the other night in Minnesota. He will do so again tonight against the Colorado Avalanche. And it's good because I think UC Saros is 22 years old and being groomed to be this team's heir apparent to Pekka Rinne, presumably. So because they have the ability to send him down, I think they are taking advantage of it and getting him some playing time so he's not sitting on the bench. So I think that was good. That'll be good for him. And when he comes back, I'm sure they have the confidence in him to get as many starts as he did last year, giving Pekka Rinne a lot of rest that he normally didn't get. And I think that's a reason why this team, and Pekka particularly, did so well in the postseason, was because he wasn't starting every other night.
Adam Vingan covering the Nashville Predators for the Tennessean. Their game tonight against the Colorado Avalanche. Follow him on Twitter at Adam Vingan. Good stuff as always, Adam. I appreciate the time and look forward to having you back again soon.
All right, Todd. Thanks. Anytime.
Thank you. Adam Vingan from the Tennessean with the Nashville Predators. It's tough not to like the Nashville Predators and all the things that David Poile and the team have done. Okay, made the moves, brought in Nick Bonino after Mike Fisher retired. Maybe there's a little bit of something that we need. Let's make the deal, make the acquisition. Kyle Turris now playing center. Nashville sitting third in the Central Division, only a few points behind the Winnipeg Jets. Yeah, and a little ways to go against the St. Louis Blues, but Nashville seems to be moving in the right direction, and they've certainly shored up their lineup as well. At Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports, Twitter and Instagram handles to follow us. Last call for Dog of the Day nominations, hashtag HU Dog of the Day. Send them to us with a photo of your dog, your name, the dog's name. If there's a little story that goes along with it, we like that too. New York Islanders in action later on Saturday against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Arthur Staple will join us in the next segment to talk Isles. And before the top of the hour, we'll touch on some of the other stories around the NHL. And of course, the final elements on the list of Todd's favorite things. Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis, back after the break.
There's special savings for Hockey Unfiltered listeners with our new ticket partner, Seat Giant. And Canadian fans can also purchase in Canadian dollars. Go to SeatGiant.ca, find the tickets you're looking for. Doesn't matter if it's NHL games, concerts, or any other event. You get a special discount with the promo code TODD. That's Todd with 2 Ds. Just enter the code, get the discount, you save. That's simple. Save on your next ticket purchase with Hockey Unfiltered and Seat Giant. The best way to get set for the busy Saturday night of hockey is with Hockey Primetime. Beginning at 5 p.m. Eastern, host Connor McKenna whips you around the league for the latest stories and info leading up to the early game starts. Plus, he'll give his own spin on the biggest stories in the National Hockey League. Hockey Primetime with Connor McKenna. Sometimes serious, sometimes a little goofy, but always interesting. Listen live at hockeyprimetime.com, 5 p.m. Eastern every Saturday. Search engine optimization is the key to success for your online business. It can be the key to success for any business. 1-844-SEO-LEAD is the number to call to get your business at the top of all searches. An official partner of Google, they have the tools necessary to make your business the one people notice first. 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Now you can nominate your dog or any dog you love as the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day through Instagram. Every Saturday, Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis will take your nominations for the Dog of the Day. Use the hashtag HU Dog of the Day. Send us a photo with the dog on Twitter or Instagram to nominate your dog. We choose a winner at the end of the show, and your dog will be recognized in the HU Dog of the Day gallery on our website and Facebook page. Hashtag HU Dog of the Day. Creativity and innovation are the hallmarks of Nova Product Design. Whether it's mechanical or industrial, cutting-edge technology and a commitment to excellence make Nova Product Design the company to choose. Prototypes and beta units are a Nova Product Design specialty. Striving for revolutionary new ideas and methods keep Nova Product Design at the forefront of innovation. Visit novaproductdesign.com and learn more.
Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis, Saturday edition, here every Saturday and Sunday, 11 Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, streaming live at hockeyunfiltered.com and on the Hockey Unfiltered app. At Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports, the Twitter and Instagram handles to follow us. It is Saturday, of course, so the hashtag is HU Dog of the Day for your Dog of the Day nominations. Happy to welcome back to the program the man who covers the New York Islanders for Newsday. You can follow him on Twitter, at Stape Newsday. Arthur Staple joins us. And Arthur, just before I ask you about the New York Islanders, I got to say, we tweeted about it and posted the video. That was an incredible job the Islanders did the other night, hosting the veterans and having Charlie, the America's Vets dog, come out and perform the ceremonial face-off. That was absolutely so well done, and a great round of applause to everyone involved with the Islanders.
Yeah, they did it. They really, Charlie came through with the puck drop. I think all the players were pretty tickled to see him out there doing that, and their military appreciation night was definitely top notch.
Yeah, it was really good. Now the focus shifts, of course, for the Islanders to head to Tampa to take on the Lightning, one of the top teams in the East, one of the top teams in the league. But don't sell the Islanders short, because I've kind of liked what I've seen from the New York Islanders as of late. It can vary at times during games, but they seem to be overall as a team moving in the right direction to me.
Yeah, it definitely it reminds me a little bit of their 2014-15 season, when they kind of broke out of their long funk, and they could really match any team goal for goal, and had a real high-powered offense. John Tavares, I think, came within a point of winning the scoring title, and they had some young guys who were young then, or not so young anymore: Anders Lee, Brock Nelson, Ryan Strome, who provided a pretty strong second line, and their ability to outscore teams then and play a really crisp offense was what marked that team. And I think this is really the kind of the hallmark already of Doug Waite's team this year, that they can score at any time, power play, shorthanded, even strength. John Tavares, second in the league with 13 goals. Anders Lee has 9. Matthew Barzal has really started to emerge as a real force on that second line, and they're still getting the kind of contributions from Casey Cizikas and Kyle Clutterbuck with the occasional goals that they need at key times. So, maybe defensively, maybe in goal, there's still a little bit of work to do, but the way their offense is, they have to scare a lot of teams.
I was just going to ask you, it seems that there's a critical defensive lapse occasionally, though, and that oftentimes has burned them and been unfortunate. Otherwise, they might have an even better record than they have so far this year.
Yeah, and you can't really hang it all on just the guys on defense. I think their team defense, their transition game, they're looking to get going with speed so often and so quickly that sometimes they forget some key structural things in their own end, or they get burned by someone stepping into a lane to pick off a transition pass, and suddenly they're kind of at weird angles in their own end. And really their goaltending, Thomas Greiss is going to make his 3rd straight start tonight here in Tampa. But between him and Jaro Halak, just not really stopping enough pucks to stand out. You can see, so there's some teams ahead of them, whether it's St. Louis, who they beat on the road last week, or here in Tampa, where they're getting some really A-level goaltending, and even some teams that are down, at 500, got Chicago, the Rangers, getting their usual high level of goaltending. So you wonder if the Islanders could get 5 more saves a game from these two guys, maybe they'd be sitting up where the Devils are in the Metro Division, rather than kind of fighting to break through the pack.
Is it? I know we're almost nearing the 20 game mark, but is it still a bit of? And again, I know Doug Waite took over last year, but is it still a bit of the getting used to how Doug Waite wants this group to play, how the systems are, the structure are, or is it more mental breakdowns?
I think they do have all new assistant coaches, and I think Doug Waite, even though he took over with half the season left last year, I think he still had a lot of things that he wanted to implement that you obviously don't have time to do when you take over in January. So I think there's been some different things that they've tried to emphasize, and they certainly got enough guys who executed, for the most part. But I think in general, it might be this is not necessarily a roster that makes you go wow all the time. They do have, like I said, they've got that top line that's going along well, and they've got a second line that's really been effective. But really, you look at third line, it's had Brock Nelson on it, it's had Anthony Beauvillier, it's had Josh Hosang. That was at least last game, and they were really struggling a bit. And I think, they've got 8 defensemen that they've carried the whole season, and they've rotated a few guys in and out. But I think they've really yet to find that shutdown pair that can really keep another team's top line at bay, and that's certainly going to be a big factor on the road tonight here against a line that the Lightning have that's by far and away been the best and most productive in the league. So I just don't know if they have that kind of personnel that can really clamp down on an opposing team. And like I said, sometimes you need your goalies to steal you one or at least steal a couple saves here and there. Thomas Greiss did it in St. Louis last week when they had a really good performance, and he was good enough against Carolina, and the offense kind of revved back up on Thursday. So, I think tonight is a real big test for what they've got going so far. If Tampa can really exploit their weaknesses and they don't get enough good goaltending, then they're going to have to wonder, have they played enough good teams yet to really feel good about where they are?
And this is a tough back-to-back for the Islanders on the road, too, because they're in Tampa on Saturday, and then they have a contest against the Carolina Hurricanes on Sunday, and the start time is a little under 24 hours after the start of the Saturday game. This is a tough weekend schedule for this team.
Yeah, and it's really their first, I think out of their first 18 games, or first 17 games, 13 were in the West against Western Conference teams. So this begins a stretch, I think, or Thursday's game began a stretch of 12 of the next 13 in the Eastern Conference. Obviously, Carolina's in their division. Next week, they've got a home-and-home with Philly, also in their division, and Tampa's obviously kind of the king of the East right now. So, this is this weekend and next week, a bit more of a measuring stick of this first quarter of the season for the Islanders. The quick turnaround. They had a quick turnaround last weekend in Dallas and then in St. Louis, and obviously the game in Dallas was just lousy from start to finish all the way around. No one was really good, and they were able to turn it around in under 24 hours and go in and beat a team that only lost once at home in St. Louis. So I think they feel like there's games where no matter home or road, back to back, they feel like they've got enough firepower and enough structure to be able to win any game that they play, and they really have only had a couple of games, the one in Dallas and opening night in Columbus, where they weren't competitive at all. So, it's like I said, it does remind me a lot of this team from 14-15, where they could score with the best of them, and really keeping pucks out of their own net and keeping themselves structured was really the biggest challenge.
Arthur Staple is our guest, covers the New York Islanders for Newsday. At Stape Newsday is how you follow him on Twitter. Islanders and Tampa Bay Lightning on Saturday night. Seemed to take Jordan Eberle a little while to get settled in with his new team. How does he look at the almost one-quarter mark of the season?
I think he fits in real nicely. It's, we've talked, you and I have talked over the years. I've talked to plenty of other people about, the Islanders needing that second scoring line, the ability to have a threat that's not someone playing with or actually being John Tavares, to give some other teams something to think about when it comes to matchups. And they've had it in spurts when Franz Nielsen was an Islander over the years, but never really consistently. And obviously they tried with Eberle with Tavares to start the season, and Tavares was in a bit of a funk. Matthew Barzal had no points in the first 5 games. He took a little while to get going. So, once Doug Weight made that switch and put Eberle with Barzal, I think those guys just seem to match up a little bit better. Speed, generating chances off the rush. If you watch Matt Barzal play, he's just a real special player. It's just not just the ability he has with creativity and quickness to elude defenders, but the tenacity too, to go and get pucks out of the corner, to get pucks off of opponents' sticks and start to create something with it. And Eberle really matches up well with him in terms of speed and kind of being ready to shoot at all times. And I think Doug Weight also realized Josh Bailey. It wasn't really a 1 year thing out of necessity that he was alongside Tavares and Anders Lee last year, where Bailey produced 56 points. These are guys that work well together. Islander fans have been tearing their hair out about Josh Bailey for almost a decade now, and sometimes it takes guys a little bit longer. It takes them a little bit of time to find their perfect zone to be in, and I think for Josh Bailey, it's on the right side with Tavares. Bailey is a distributor first. He's not a shoot first guy like Eberle is, and Tavares, with 13 goals so far, is showing that he likes to put the puck in the net too. So, they've got guys in the right place for now, and it's a top 6 that can really match up with anybody in the league, and that's been a long time coming for this organization.
Before I let you go, Arthur, I have to have the obligatory questions, even though things have been kind of quiet about the John Tavares contract situation and the New York Islanders arena situation, and that's probably best. I don't recall seeing or hearing anything new on either of these developments, and if there is, would you pass it along to us?
Well, I would if I could, but there certainly seems to be nothing right now. It's ironic that we're talking about it here in Tampa was talking to Steven Stamkos about this situation not long ago, earlier this morning, and obviously Stamkos went through it, and he and John Tavares go way back playing mite hockey together in the Toronto area, so they know each other well, and Stamkos kind of, he doesn't have any insights or anything that he's talked to John Tavares about. I think he just understands what kind of guy John Tavares is and says he's earned the right to see what's going to happen before he signs the way that Stamkos did. And Stamkos, I think, has said before and said to me, if he had it to do over again, maybe he'd change a few things, maybe not accidentally like a tweet or two having related to the Maple Leafs, but I think Stamkos can, he just says you just see what the numbers that Tavares is putting up, and you can see that the focus is there and there's no distraction of any kind. And I think that's the way it's been for Tavares. He was, they were plenty of discussions about it in the media, questions to him before the season started, and he handled them all and knew what was coming. And now that he's into the season and they're playing, every few nights, I think he has an easier time avoiding that issue and not really worrying about what we're talking about or what they're talking about up in his hometown in Toronto. The speculation will always be there. There's really nothing that's changed as far as the status goes. He's still seemingly waiting for some good news, as the Islanders are on their bid to start building an arena at the Belmont Park racetrack out on Long Island. And if that comes, maybe things will change. But for right now, he's focused on scoring goals and winning games. And so far, I'd say he's doing a pretty good job of both.
Arthur Staple covering the New York Islanders for Newsday. At Stape Newsday is how you follow him on Twitter. Arthur, thanks for this. Great as always, and I appreciate you indulging me with those obligatory questions. Enjoying the warm weather while you can.
Thanks a lot, Todd. Anytime.
Thanks, Arthur Staple from Newsday, covering the New York Islanders. If anything, this is an even greater indication, perhaps the greatest indication of how good a player, how good a talent John Tavares is. To be able to post a season with 13 goals and 6 assists after 18 games, when all of the focus and all of the attention is on you as being a potential unrestricted free agent elite player with ties to another team, that's pretty special of John Tavares. I hope it all works out for he and the New York Islanders quickly and efficiently. At Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports, the Twitter and Instagram handles will take you up to the top of the hour. A whole bunch of things to get through on the final segment of our Todd's Favorite Things list. I got a whole bunch of stuff that I haven't been able to get into and we won't have time for, but we'll kick it over to tomorrow because I suspect there's going to be a whole bunch of crazy, goofy, expansion and that kind of talk over the next 12 to 24 hours, especially on Hockey Night in Canada. So we'll save that for tomorrow because there's a lot of nonsense that was being thrown around over the last day or two. At Hockey Unfiltered, at Todd Lewis Sports, final segment of Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis, back after the break.
Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis sends you to the biggest events at the best prices. This year, we've partnered with Seat Giant to give you special deals on tickets to NHL games, concerts, or other events. Simply go to SeatGiant.com, find the tickets you want. When you check out, use the promo code TODD for a special discount. That's promo code TODD for a special discount. Start saving with SeatGiant.com on your next purchase. Get your business started getting more leads. 1-844-SEO-LEAD. The number to call if you want more online leads for your business is 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Search engine optimization can be the difference between success and failure. It's no coincidence which businesses are listed first in Google searches. Call 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Now it's even easier to nominate your dog as the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day. We do it every Saturday. Send us a photo on Twitter or now on Instagram with the hashtag HU Dog of the Day. We choose a winner every Saturday. That's simple. Now on Instagram or Twitter, send us the photo using the hashtag HU Dog of the Day, and your dog could be the one added to our gallery on the website and Facebook page. It's the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day every Saturday. Cutting-edge design for manufacturing, Nova Product Design. Industrial design, mechanical engineering and design. Nova Product Design provides experienced design for parts and assemblies, manufacturing, assembly, and serviceability. From plastic parts to sheet metal forming, mold and tool design, injection molding, and more. Nova Product Design. Visit novaproductdesign.com to learn more. So you had to get groceries, take your daughter to dance class, and a pipe burst in the kitchen. You missed Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis. No problem. All of our shows are available as a podcast right after the show airs, so you can listen when life gets in the way of hearing us live. Subscribe through iTunes and get alerts as soon as the podcast is available, or go to our website, hockeyunfiltered.com, and listen. Plus, check out the other cool stuff, the Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis podcast. Subscribe now through iTunes.
Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis. It's the final segment of our Saturday program. We'll be back again tomorrow, another 2 hours, beginning at 11 Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Included on our guests tomorrow, Andy Strickland, talking a little St. Louis Blues. And of course, Fantasy 5, hashtag Fantasy 5, with Stephen Laidlaw, the managing editor of DauberHockey.com, with help and tips for you and your fantasy hockey pool. Tip number 1, remember to set your lineup, unlike I did yesterday. Cost me a goal, cost me a game-winning goal, as a matter of fact. Set your lineup. It's a dumb mistake. Usually do it at the same time of day. I got distracted. It's my own fault. So anyhow, still in decent shape though. Before we get to our dog of the day winner, a couple of reminders. Tomorrow, quarterly reports for all 31 NHL teams. We're at the quarter mark. Just about everybody's hitting the 20-game mark this weekend. So quarterly reports on all 31 of the NHL teams. As mentioned, Fantasy 5 tomorrow as well. And now a reminder again of the final items on Todd's favorite things list. We've done this last year. We've done it again this year. The response has already been really good. It was fantastic last year as well. The charities, rescue dog shelters, we love them. VH1 Save the Music. Our friend Justin Goldman's charity, the Goalie Guild, Sleeping Children Around the World, Canadian and U.S. Cancer Societies as well. Some hockey-themed gifts in time for the holidays and gift giving. I found a really cool hockey skate stocking. You can personalize it, have someone's name put on it. It is a stocking that you can hang by the chimney with care, but in the shape of a hockey skate, and like it's pretty cool. Picture frames made of hockey sticks, the puck off bottle opener, barbecue tool set. The handles are hockey sticks, really fantastic stuff, and NHL team lunch bag coolers as well. A couple of tech items that I've found that I'm really enjoying. Bose SoundSport in-ear headphones. They are great, fantastic sound for whatever you're listening to, whether it's music, whether you're watching videos online, and they are going on sale at this time of year as well. And the Amazon Echo for Alexa, I have just barely scratched the surface on this, but it's pretty cool. And again, there are deals to be had as well. A couple of other favorite things in the kitchen, the NorPro adjustable roast rack for roasting your holiday turkey for Thanksgiving, for Christmas or whatever. Get that turkey up off the bottom of the roasting pan. The NorPro adjustable roast rack is great. Star Pack silicone spatulas. There's also a spoonula version. If you're a cook, you understand what a spoonula is, but the silicone version are great. They keep your pots and pans in good shape. Global knives. Got my first one a year ago. Amazing. These things are so sharp. I mean, you cannot believe what you can slice with Global knives. Get yourself a good chef's knife. It is amazing how much chopping and cutting you can do and how much fun you can have doing it. I also purchased for the first time recently Mr. Clean Magic Erasers, and I couldn't believe. Well, first of all, it says a lot about how sometimes I let things get a little untidy, but these things are pretty cool, and you just get them damp, give them a little rub, and it's amazing the stains and gook that comes out of whatever it is. Whether it's like a kitchen sink or a smudge on the wall. It's remarkable how it comes out. A few musical faves from 2017: Harry Styles and Sign of the Times, The Cure from Lady Gaga, and a couple of really great Ed Sheeran tunes: Castle on the Hill and Shape of You. Can't help but feel a little rhythm and movement and dance when you hear that one. Chained to the Rhythm, Katy Perry. A Better Man from Little Big Town. Yes, I'm a country fan. I like some country songs. Just won a big CMA award. The song, by the way, if you didn't know, written by Taylor Swift. Really good, from Little Big Town. Better Man is the song. Maren Morris is another country artist I'm a big fan of. Her first CD was sensational, and I Could Use a Love Song was great. Keith Urban, also a big CMA winner with Blue Ain't Your Color, another really nice, soft, smooth, emotional song. Some Netflix faves as well for a little binge watching. Ozark, if you haven't seen it, Jason Bateman's fantastic. The cast is tremendous. It's a really cool series on Netflix. Grace and Frankie as well, which I was just recently turned on to. Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, Martin Sheen, Sam Waterston. I don't want to talk about the premise because you have to watch the first episode and you'll get sucked right in. It's a really good series. I hadn't seen it. I'd heard it was great, but started watching it. And I'm into season 2 right now. And a couple of classic series that I enjoyed that are available on Netflix. Californication with David Duchovny. It's a bit crazy. It's wild. It's weird, but it's kind of funny too. Shameless is another one with William H. Macy and Emmy Rossum. I like that show, and a couple of other classics. The West Wing, Talk of the White House, and Frasier. If you're just looking for 22 or 23 minutes of fun, but good, witty, clever writing, really crisp delivery, it's fun. So those are some of the favorite things. We mention again that the entire list will be up on our website, hockeyunfiltered.com, and we'll put it up on our Facebook page as well. There will be links through to Amazon where most of these items are available. You can make purchases. Just go to our website, hockeyunfiltered.com. You can click through, save a little money, and make some really good purchases. And I'm not getting paid by any of these products or the companies that own them. These are just some personal thoughts, ideas, and recommendations of things that I've found over the last year or so that have worked really, really well for me. They just have fit the right thing. So we've compiled the list into Todd's favorite things. We did it last year, and we had a really good response. We had a lot of people and a lot of good positive feedback about it. So we spent some time and put together another list this year. And of course, led by all of our favorite charities like rescue dog shelters in your area. A lot of NHL teams have their calendars for 2018 up for sale now. The proceeds are going to dog charities, to rescue dogs, and other shelters and charities. We encourage you to support them by purchasing those calendars and by supporting shelters in your area. Leads us, of course, to today's Dog of the Day winner, submitted by Brian. And yes, there's that cute picture that is up on our Twitter feed right now. We will post the photo up on our website and up on our Facebook page. I didn't see the explanation as to why there are $20 bills being held by that dog, but it's... But it is kind of funny. It's almost as if there's a little officiating bribe that's sort of taking place and going on. But it's a cute photo, and that's our dog of the day for today. It is a busy Saturday in the National Hockey League. As mentioned, it is afternoon games involving the Calgary Flames and Philadelphia Flyers. No Matthew Tkachuk because he was suspended for one game on Friday night for his role in the antics that took place in Detroit a couple of nights earlier. He was the one that whacked Luke Witkowski with a little slash. He started the melee, so he's paying the price because he is a repeat offender. You can't just fine him for unsportsmanlike conduct or behaving like a jackass, more appropriately. So because he's a repeat offender, he loses a game. And so he should. Philadelphia Flyers will be without Radko Gudas for a while, we'll say. Apparently he has waived his right to an in-person hearing. It will take place, and he's going to miss some games. I'm putting the over-under right now at 8 games just because of that two-handed chop against Matthew Perreault against the Winnipeg Jets a couple of nights ago. It was mean. It was nasty. It was dirty. It was vicious. He's a repeat offender. His last suspension was for 6 games. The offense occurred in the first period, so I could see it being an 8-game suspension. Arizona's at Ottawa, Edmonton and Dallas. I'm intrigued to see how that game plays out. Florida and LA, a late afternoon start in Eastern time at 4 p.m. Eastern. Toronto, Montreal, could be a big one tonight. I'm interested to see what happens there. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about it all. Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis back on Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific.
So you had to get groceries, take your daughter to dance class, and a pipe burst in the kitchen. You missed Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis. The problem? All of our shows are available as a podcast right after the show airs, so you can listen when life gets in the way of hearing us live. Subscribe through iTunes and get alerts as soon as the podcast is available, or go to our website, hockeyunfiltered.com, and listen. Plus, check out the other cool stuff, the Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis podcast. Subscribe now through iTunes. Get your business started getting more leads. 1-844-SEO-LEAD. The number to call if you want more online leads for your business is 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Search engine optimization can be the difference between success and failure. It's no coincidence which businesses are listed first in Google searches. Call 1-844-SEO-LEAD. Hockey Unfiltered with Todd Lewis sends you to the biggest events at the best prices. This year, we've partnered with Seat Giant to give you special deals on tickets to NHL games, concerts, or other events. Simply go to SeatGiant.com, find the tickets you want. When you check out, use the promo code TODD for a special discount. That's promo code TODD for a special discount. Start saving with SeatGiant.com on your next purchase. Nova Product Design is designed for manufacturing. Nova Product Design can get the job done with mechanical and industrial design. Nova Product Design is also fully functional for laser cutting, water jet cutting, plating, coatings, and more. Nova Product Design, innovative design and the latest technologies. Nova Product Design can design, build, and test any required types of prototypes and beta units. Visit novaproductdesign.com. We're looking for your Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day nominations every Saturday. Now you can send them through Instagram. Use the hashtag HUDogoftheDay, send us a photo of your dog on Twitter or Instagram to nominate them as the HU Dog of the Day. Include your name, the dog's name, and any other cool details you want. We choose a winner and add them to the Dog of the Day gallery on our website and Facebook page. It's the Hockey Unfiltered Dog of the Day every Saturday. Hashtag HU Dog of the Day.